If you drive about 7 miles south of Cresswell in Washington County, you may feel like you've gone back in time. There you'll find a former plantation that dates back to when our country was less than 10 years old. We're visiting what's now a state historic site in this week's People and Places. Along the shore of Lake Phelps in Washington County sits a piece of American history. Somerset Place is the site of a former 19th century antebellum plantation.
The initial crops here were rice, corn, wheat, and of course lumber.
Slaves did much of the work here.
It was the second largest slave-holding plantation in the state of North Carolina.
Now, Somerset Place State Historic Site aims to tell the story of all the people who played a role on this plantation.
We focus on the social history of the plantation days. We interpret the lives of the people who lived, labored, and died here.
Somerset Place dates back to 1785. Josiah Collins, a native of Somerset, England, owned the property then. By the mid-19th century, more than 50 buildings made up the plantation. 7 of the plantation's original structures still stand today. The crown jewel, the Collins home, built in the 1830s.
But Josiah III inherited the property in 1829, and he wanted to live here at Somerset, so he had the Collins home built. It's a Greek Revival style architectural home. It's 6,809 square feet. The Collins family lived in more space than 188 members of the former enslaved community. So we use it as a tool to compare and to contrast of how people live on various economic levels.
At one time, more than 25 slave houses could be found here. Today, several reconstructed slave homes are on the site.
It's important to tell their story as well.
That includes the home of slave Suki Davis, who spent most of her life at Somerset Place. Her life story and that of many of her descendants are highlighted here.
Yes, it's very important that we interpret the lives and remember the people who labored here at Somerset Place and the enslaved community, because it's not only African history or African American history or black history, it's American history. So we like to tell the whole story of all the people who live here.
Visitors to Somerset Place can roam the grounds on their own or take part in a 90-minute guided tour. It's a chance to walk along one of North Carolina's largest and most beautiful lakes and to get a glimpse of what life was like during one of America's most infamous periods.
There was once an old motto that said that if you remember people's names, you call their names, they always live. So we like to remember the people who labored and lived and died here at Somerset Place.
Somerset Place State Historic Site is open from 9 until 5, Tuesday through Saturday. Just follow the signs once you take the Cresswell exit on US Highway 64. If you have an interesting person or place you'd like to see featured, we'd love to hear from you. Just reach out to me through email or on one of my social media accounts.